Folks, welcome back. Today is going to be a bring everyone back down to earth video. It is going to be an exercise extreme caution video. It is going to be a very disliked video where I'm sure I'll get a lot of visceral, angry comments in the comment section, but I'm no stranger to that. When I tell you things like Ascended Heroes ETB cases are extremely overinflated right now, and you should exercise extreme caution if you're buying them at $1,750 to $1,800 a case when it's literally months old. When I say things like Phantasmal Flames booster boxes being over $400 when they're months old, all because a Charizard that is 1 in 400 to pull the card, which is not hard at all for any modern sets, that has a 60+% PSA 10 gem rate, which is extremely easy in Pokemon. I'm going to get told things like, this guy is just pissed off because he doesn't own the stuff. Timmy, calm down. I would be willing to bet that 99% of people will leave in those comments in my video. Guys, you're not talking to someone out there who doesn't have skin in the game. If you're going to leave that on my video, you better put up or shut up, because I will gladly put my Phantasmal Flames booster box case position and my Ascended Heroes ETB case position up against a lot of you out there. Now, are there bigger fish than me? Of course. I'm not one of the big giant whales, but I'm sure I have a lot more of them than most all the people commenting in the comment section angry that I'm saying this. Trust me, I have heavy bags in this stuff. It doesn't mean that I'm psychotic enough to act like this is normal or a good thing. Put it this way. People were already angry and thought the market was overinflated for the past year and a half. How long did it take Prismatic Evolutions ETBs to get to $1,800 a case? How long did it take for Destined Rivals after release, after the pre-release nonsense, to get back to $400 a box? Look how easy Phantasmal did. Look how fast and easy Ascended did. If you thought the market was already crazy, we are in some sort of like beyond uncharted lands. We're beyond the ice wall. Someone has scaled the ice wall and they are in some undocumented, uncharted land beyond the flat earth. That's where these prices of these products are now. Simple as that. And so when I say exercise extreme caution, that doesn't mean that things are going to crash. That doesn't mean if you actually hold, listen to what I'm saying. You actually hold 3 to 5 years, you're not going to do well. The reason I said that 3 times is most people don't. Because to believe that things can keep going up, it's a fine prediction. You have to also believe there is a possibility, at least, that Phantasmal Flames starts to stagnate. We do get a booster box reprint at some point. It may fall to $250 to $300. It may stay stagnant around there. It may, trend up, trend down. It may trade in a range. It may not hit 400 or more a box for a year or more. It might not hit 500 plus till it goes out of print in a couple years. I don't know. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with looking at your collector app in a year from now and seeing you're possibly down money? Is that going to hurt? Are you going to get a, knee-jerk emotional reaction and sell because, it's all a scam? Or are you actually going to hold 5 years? If you do, I think you'll be fine. Ascended Heroes. Likely pretty similar things are going to happen like they did with Prismatic. They're probably going to print it to the ground, right? Everyone loves that term. And I think there will be times in the future where Ascended Heroes, ETBs, are cheaper than they are right now. Now, are you okay with the fact that for the next couple of years, they may trade in a range and at some points throughout the year, you're going to be down, maybe sometimes you're up? Is that okay with you? In 2 years, not making money? Just so you can make a good return in 3, 4, 5 years? Is that cool? If it is, no big deal. Put them away. Don't worry about anything I'm saying. I think a lot of people right now, though, they think things are going to continue to produce these kind of gains for the months and years to come. I don't think a lot of people have come to terms with money they're putting into some of this stuff, not being able to have that money for at least 3 to 5 years, no matter what comes up, no matter what stupid economical disaster comes, right? Oh, food's more expensive, gas is more expensive, there's wars going on, housing's too expensive, whatever, stupid thing happens, right? layoffs, job cuts, not getting a raise, whatever it may be. No matter what comes along, you're going to be good to hold it. If that's the case, turn off the video right now. You don't need to listen. If that's not the case, you got to understand, guys. The Umbreon VMAX from Evolving Skies, the card of a generation, hyped up during the last big Pokemon craze, right? It took that card, 3-4 years to reach the same levels that the Mega Charizard X is in a PSA 10. That card is roughly the same difficulty to grade, same area, but it's like 1 in 1,800 packs, something like that. This card's 1 in 400. It's like 4 times easier to hit. It's everywhere. I pull one almost every week on my channel and my streams. It's easy. I've pulled like a handful of Umbreon VMAXs the entire time I've been streaming in the last 2 years. It's very different. The Umbreon from Prismatic, same thing about the Umbreon VMAX. Very, very hard to pull. We've pulled literally, I can probably count on them in 2 hands how many we've ever pulled. We've already pulled more Charizards than that, and the set literally just came out. And I just think as the euphoria continues to grow, it's not the fact that these things will not keep going and they cannot keep going. And I'm not even saying that they won't. I'm not saying that Ascended Heroes ETBs, they won't be $2,000 a case or more here soon. They might. Phantasmal Flames booster boxes, they may be $500, $600 a box, just like Destined Rivals here before long. I don't know. But I just want everyone to understand there's also that possibility as we get further and further on this parabolic line. If you look at the sales numbers right now for Pokemon TCGs, the line has gone parabolic. Now, the problem is no one knows where that parabolic line ends. And that's why I've always said, if you're investing long-term, it always pays more to get involved than sit on the sidelines, because no one knows how far up it goes and no one knows how deep the correction is. And so a lot of the time you're going to miss out more when you sit out than if you jump in and take action, right? But short term, there could be a lot of pain. If you buy a Charizard X right now, it may stay up. It may keep going. It may drop 30, 40%. I don't know. I really don't know. And I wouldn't be surprised either way. That's the main point here. I think people would be really surprised right now. They would be genuinely shocked if that card dropped 30, 40% in the next month, 2 months, 3 months. And I'd be like, yeah, makes sense. But if that card kept running and went to $3,500, $4,000 a card, guess what else I would do? Yeah, makes sense. Market's crazy strong. And I think that's the difference when it comes to, I think, a lot of people who have been here's mentality to a lot of newer people who are caught up in the euphoria, who think things can only keep going. It's the best card ever. Everyone wants it. It's scarce. It's, the product's disappearing, all this stuff. When that time, let me throw a scenario at you. All right, let me just throw a scenario at you to give you just something that possibly could happen. If sales slow during summer on a lot of the popular, slab sites, digital rip sites, right? Things like GameStop, Fanatics, Courtyard, etc. And then you go to these collecticons, these card shows, and all those big buyers that buy for all of these big organizations who spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a weekend on slabs, they're like, yeah, we're not taking any this weekend. What do you mean? I always sell you my slabs. Yeah, no, we're set right now. We can give you 75%. What? You were paying 85, 90. Yeah, no, we're set. We got enough inventory right now. Uh-oh. Supply glut hits. People got to sell their cards. Where are they selling? The big buyers aren't buying. Start throwing them on eBay. You start throwing tons of lots all over the internet, Facebook and Discord groups. What do? And you start seeing that happen. That will start to send shockwaves because the money printer stops. The cash flow stops, right? The people who grade and flip the graded cards, the cash flow slows down. The vendors who flip to those buyers, the cash flow slows down. Now they have less money to spend on elsewhere. And as the cash flow slowly gets tighter and tighter, everything starts to slow down little by little by little. That can happen. Rip and ship slow down. Not as many packs are getting ripped. All the people who are scalping all the stores and vending machines, they start trying to sell the rip and shippers, and they're like, yeah, no, I'm pretty good on supply right now. Well, you always buy from me. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'll let you know. Go to the next guy. Everyone's good. Okay, well, what if I sell it to you for 70%? Maybe, you know. And as that starts, guess what? People start to price compete to the downward side. Not as much product disappearing from the market, not as much getting open. Now people start price competing on TCG Player, on eBay. The prices start to fall. That is a real world scenario that will happen at some point. I just don't know when. And that's why I always say time in the market is still best, right? Instead of sitting on the sidelines, because heck, let's take Phantasmal Flames. Maybe it runs to $550 a box. And then we get a massive reprint or a slowdown and it drops, gasp, 30%. So it drops down to like the high 300s. Or Ascended Heroes runs to like $2,500 a case. The ETBs are like 2 something. And then it gets cut down to like 150. So about where they're at, right? Maybe you're down 10%. And maybe they don't even drop that much. Maybe they go to 2,500 and drop 20%. Now they're $2,000 a case and you're still up money. And so it's like, you never know how far it's going to run before the correction. And you never know how deep the correction is going to go. You don't know how deep the correction is going to last. And so, yeah, time in the market's always going to win. If you're actually here for 3 to 5 years, if you're not just like throwing that number out there because you hear everyone else say it, and you're not actually emotionally ready for the ups and downs, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. For everyone else, I think there's going to be pain eventually, especially the ones who operate day to day in the hobby. Eventually, a time will come. I don't know when or if, though. Or I know if, I just don't know when. And so that's all I wanted to do, guys, is just shed some light on those possibilities. Try to give some caution. Don't go all in, right? Always leave a margin for error. Always understand, what you're willing to risk and how long you're willing to lock something up. If things do drop, you can always dollar cost average and get your cost basis down, especially if you're here for the long term and you have extra capital. But at the end of the day, guys, I just see some of this stuff and I'm like, prismatic ETB cases are basically the same price right now as Ascended Heroes. I'm looking at things like Paldea Evolved is out of print and it's almost the same price right now as Phantasmal Flames. You're looking at, as much as I'm not like, a huge like sword and shield guy, or, when it comes to investing compared to like, Scarlet Violet, I do look at Destined Rival sometimes and I'm like, dude, if this thing keeps running a bit and Fusion Strike stops moving, Fusion Strike could be like around the same lines as Destined Rivals here soon. It sounds a little crazy, right? And you start thinking about some of the stuff and you're just like, one of 2 things is going to have to happen, right? It's either everything's going to move up, everything across the board, or we're probably going to have some times of stagnation or times of correction where things kind of, people start evaluating things again. See, I don't think anyone's evaluating. I'm sorry, it's a longer video. I'm going to end it here soon. I don't think a lot of people are evaluating why they're valuing something as high as it is. So like, again, I've been in the hobby 11 years now, and I'll say it a lot, but for the last, 9.5 years, even during the boom, it seemed like in 2021, people would evaluate things based on certain metrics. When it comes to a card, let's say I take a card. You would look at the pull rate, how hard it is to pull. You would think about the popularity of the Pokemon, right? The artwork, right? You would think about the gem rate, how hard it is to grade. Those things would all play into how a card was valued. Now it seems like all those metrics are out the window. No one's truly putting any thought into why they're paying what they are, why they're valuing something the way it is. And things are just running away. And I think that could end up leading to some dark times for some people, especially if they don't understand the risks. So just understand the risks. As long as you're picking plays that you can afford to take, as long as you got realistic time frames and realistic kind of deviations on what you think, the upside or the downside is on a play, you're going to be all right. I just wanted to, pour a little water on the fire, give you guys a little come back down to earth, moment, and hopefully it helps. So hope you enjoyed. That's all I got. We're out.